This is a Cincy fan talking with LP. You can catch me on Twitter. That's a Cincy fan talking. You say it like it sounds, just leave off the G. If you have ideas for the show, you can reach me at Cincy_fan talk at yahoo.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, make sure you leave them there. Who knows, you might find yourself as part of the show. Any feedback would be definitely appreciated. And also, make sure you hit the Linktree page that's on my Twitter. Make sure you click on that. You can find all the different ways to contact me there. Enjoy the show. What's up? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of a Cincy fan talking with LP, and this is yours truly, LP. Appreciate you dropping by to another episode of the podcast. Appreciate you checking me out. As always, go through the link tree, do what you do on that. Just appreciate you coming through and spending a little bit of time with your boy. Got a few things to talk about. It's February, going through the whole Black History Month thing. Talked about that last week. Honestly, I'm probably gonna be talking about that all year, like, because I just really been on that. Like, why are we celebrating Black History Month in this little tiny ass stretch? Like, I don't know. It's just really been pissing me off. Like, we should be doing this every day. Like, why wait till February? I don't know. It's just been it's been overcooking my grits, like real life. But we'll jump into that um, a little bit later on, maybe. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But Super Bowl talk, which actually wound into a little bit of Bengals talk, which is weird because what were the Bengals? 4-11-1 this year. So I don't know how it got into Bengals talk, but hey, it kind of did. So we're going to jump into that right now. So Super Bowl snooze fest. Found myself lightweight going to sleep mid third quarter. I finally called it. Didn't call it to be a smash. Didn't see that, but I did think that Tampa Bay was going to win. Like, for one, I just got tired of picking against Tom Brady. Like, I mean, he was doing his thing against New Orleans, did his thing against Green Bay. At some point, you got to see the writing on the wall. Like, Tom Brady is the GOAT. And I know a lot of people don't like Tom Brady. I never really was like the biggest Tom Brady fan on earth, but I never really hated the guy. Like, I mean, you can't. And it's weird that people hate greatness. I mean, I feel like that's America for you. People like you when you're the underdog, and people really like you when you're making that climb to greatness. But once you great for a little bit too long, people don't like that. People like variety in their life. You feel me? And once you elite for a while, people want somebody else to knock you off. That's why the NCAA tournament, that's why people like it so much, because people like the underdog. People want to root against the Kentucky. They want to root against the Duke. They want to root against the North Carolina. Like, they like that. They don't want to see the Blue Bloods winning year after year after year. So when Tom Brady is winning year after year after year, they hate him for it. I don't. Like, I don't hate people that win year after year after year, because I realize how hard it is to win year after year after year. That's your greatness. Like, it's harder to win consistently than it is to win once or twice and then flame out. It's hard to win 7 Super Bowls. That's damn near impossible. Like, you gotta respect that. And I know people are like, man, give somebody else a chance. No, take your chance. Beat that man. If you want it, beat him. There's been few people that could do that. So you gotta respect it. And Tom Brady, he got another one. I don't think he should have won the MVP, but that's the thing about giving somebody the defensive MVP. Unless somebody just balls out on defense, it's really hard to just give it to one person because the defense plays as a unit. Whereas offensively, one person can shine. One person can, get it done. They'll get the touchdowns or whatever, and you can give it to that one person. But the defense, they all kind of play as a collective fist. They're all one heart. Whatever coach cliche you want to use. You got to play like that on defense. So unless somebody gets 3 picks or 6 sacks or something like that, it's really hard to give it to one defensive player. And the Tampa Bay defense was the reason why they won. I mean, it really was. To have Mahomes play the way that he played, that was a great defensive effort. And this kind of circles into why I'm talking about the Bengals during the Super Bowl, even though the Bengals had a pretty crappy record. Mahomes played the way he did for 2 reasons. One, Tampa Bay played out of their mind defensively. They played in a way that they don't normally play. I'm not saying that they don't play defense well because Tampa Bay has a pretty good defensive squad, but they hit KC with a look that they don't usually show. Usually Tampa Bay is like man to man. That's the way Todd Bowles normally does his thing, the defensive coordinator. But he hit them. He hit Kansas City with 5 defensive backs in all types of zones, and they were getting pressure with pretty much their front four, which goes into what happened with the Bengals because KC's offensive line was not their regular offensive line. And Mahomes was looking crazy out there because he was getting pressured due to the fact that that offensive line was missing 4 starters, I think. Yeah, I think it was 4. Mahomes looked bad. Some of that was him. He played a bad game. Some of that was his wide receivers. They had a horrible game. Some of that was KC's defense. I mean, they had some penalties, and people want to be like, oh, man, the Patriots, man, they just want the Patriots to win. You can't do some of the stuff KC was doing out there on defense. Like, be for real. Like, why are you having pass interference calls? It was just crazy. Like, why are you holding these guys going down the field like that? You know that's going to get called. What are you thinking? But that offensive line for KC was bad. It it was bad. Mahomes was running for his life on the biggest stage ever in the NFL. That cannot happen. This is supposed to be where your blocking scheme should be on point. This should not be a problem early February. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, if Mahomes can look like this with a bad offensive line, anybody can look like this with a bad offensive line. You need offensive line help. And when you think about it, the Bengals got to get offensive line help. You have to because of what I just said. If one of the best quarterbacks in the league can look so mediocre because of offensive line play, imagine what a rookie looks like with bad offensive line play. That's what happened to the Bengals this year. You put somebody that has a whole lot of promise behind a line that, quite frankly, didn't deserve to be out there. And I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm not saying this like I can be an offensive lineman. If you put me out there, whoever's playing quarterback is going to have a long day. Like it's a wrap. You don't want me blocking for you, but I know this. I'm not trying to be an offensive lineman. That's not my bag. But the offensive linemen that the Bengals had weren't good enough to get the job done. And this isn't me being a jerk. The proof is in the pudding. This is what happened. The Bengals need better offensive linemen. It's just a fact. Either the ones that they have need to play better, or they got to get people in there that can play better. Because you got the franchise QB in there, and he's gonna need protection. And there are two ways to get that done: either through the draft or free agency. Now, if you look on Tampa Bay's line, they had a rookie playing on the line, developed well over his rookie season. So there's something to be said for a rookie being able to get the job done. But if you want to get Burrow weapons in the draft, high in the draft, then it's probably best to search through free agency. I was talking to some people online, through Twitter. That's kind of what I do. And they were kind of saying the same thing I was saying: draft, free agency. Either way, if the same thing happens this year that happens last year, you might as well wrap it up for this season as well, because it really doesn't matter who you put on the outside. It doesn't matter who you put behind Burrow. None of that really matters. If you don't have 5 or 6 people that can block, there's really no point to it. Nothing's gonna get done. I mean, I've used this analogy so many times because it's the perfect analogy. You buy a car. The first thing you get on the car is the insurance. You buy a house. They don't even let you buy the house unless you get the insurance. I mean, it's a non-starter. You get all these weapons on offense. You get all these weapons. You get the tight end that can catch. You get the wide receivers that are speedsters. You get the insurance wide receiver that can catch on third down. You get your running back that can break the big one. You get your secondary running back to spell them or whatever. What does all of this mean if you don't have an offensive line that can give you the time to get the ball to all these people? What does it mean? It would be like having the best car ever and not putting gas in it. What's the point? Like, it's like having a car with no tires. Where are you going? You got a pretty car with no tires. I mean, it's a wrap. You're not doing much. So all of us Bengals fans are hoping that the Super Bowl was seen through the eyes of folks that understood what they were watching. And to all of the Kansas City fans, if there was somebody hating on Mahomes, I mean, you had to understand. He had a bad game. He's definitely going to be back. He'll be back on that stage again. And I'm pretty sure he's going to remember what happened, and he'll get his back. Bad games happen. It's messed up that he had a bad game on the biggest stage, but bad games happen. I mean, they just do. Every now and again, you're going to have a dud performance, and it can be attributed to many different factors. And Mahomes had a bad game. He doesn't have many. So he'll learn from that. And he was playing hurt on top of that. So it's okay to say somebody had a bad game, and it's okay to blame it on him and blame it on a lot of different factors. It happens. So he'll learn from it. He'll bounce back. I'm sure Kansas City will go 14-2 next year and be a problem in the league. And That's how it goes. But them not scoring a touchdown, that was definitely attributed to poor line play and terrific defense from Tampa Bay. And I hope the Bengals watch that, and I hope they realize that no matter who you are, you need a dope offensive line. You have to, because if you don't, you're just going to have people, they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to rush you, they're going to blitz you. I mean, Tampa Bay didn't even blitz a lot, and they still got to the QB. So, got to get that O line help. That has to happen. And normally at this point, and I was listening to a couple old episodes of myself from last year, and I was heavy on the college basketball at this point. I was talking big about Xavier's, talking big about UC, getting hyped about the March Madness. I'm like, okay, it's February. We rounding the corner. I'm not even gonna hold y'all up right now. After Gonzaga and Baylor, I have no clue about who the third and fourth best teams are. I I have no clue about who's on the second seed line or the third seed line. I'm clueless right now. I really am. There've been so many fits and starts on college basketball this year. I mean, I know Baylor hasn't played for a while. I know around here, Xavier and Cincinnati, they've had to stop and start a lot. I mean, to me, college basketball it's in a really weird place. I think I've done a couple of pieces this year on college hoops. It's been mostly about the tournament being in Indianapolis. I know the women are going to play in San Antonio this year, but really for the most part, it's like, eh, definitely going to watch March Madness. Really intrigued about how it's going to look, but it's just so weird. You try to get into it, and you turn on a game and you expect to see a game, and that game's not on because COVID messed it up. I just don't know about this season. I really don't. What I'm worried about is that this rolls into March. If I'm college basketball, I'm I'm canceling conference tournaments, and I know that's wild. I know people are like, "What? Are you serious?" But think about it like this: you're risking in a conference tournament. You're risking a team that really doesn't need to be in the conference tournament. You're risking that team getting exposed to COVID and possibly not even being able to play in the NCAA tournament. They might not be able to play because they've been exposed. I mean, to me, it's not really worth it. Any team that wants to earn a bid to the tournament already had, I don't know, November, December, January, February, March. They've had 5 months to earn that bid to the tournament. I really don't think it's fair that they get an extra 3 games during this dangerous COVID time to get a shot and possibly knock out somebody else because they infect them or knock them out because of contact tracing or something like that. And I do realize that's kind of sort of unfair because of the flaws in scheduling. There may be some teams that lost their shot for a long time because of the same thing, but things are different now. Things aren't really the same. And I feel like we have to be fair to everybody. So I think eliminating conference tournaments for this season is just fair. Because what if you're a team like Baylor? You're gonna get the number one seed. You're good. but you have to play in a conference tournament, and you play a team like, I don't know, Kansas State. I know they're not good right now. You play Kansas State. You play them in the first round. You beat them. Somebody on their team tests positive for COVID. So now your team possibly has somebody that's infected with COVID. And then they test positive for COVID. Now your team can't play in the tournament because of that game, which your team did not need to play because they were good for the tournament anyway and would have gotten a number one seed, win or lose. How fair is that? And knowing the NCAA, they're not going to make a ruling like no conference tournaments. They're going to leave it to each individual conference, and there's going to be a hodgepodge of we're going to play, we're not going to play, we're only going to, some other conference is going to say, okay, we're just going to let the bottom 7 teams play or something like that. It's going to be something ridiculous. That there's never been uniformity in the NCAA. It just hasn't happened. So definitely not expecting it now. I mean, why would we expect that from the NCAA? I mean, where would they do that? But it would just make sense to make it safer and protect teams. It would make more sense this way. But, and it's sad to say, but we've seen this in the NFL. We've seen this with Major League Baseball. It's about the buck. It's about the dollar. And we know how much money those conference tournaments bring in. We see that. So those conference tournaments aren't going anywhere, and they're going to make them play. So hopefully everybody stays safe. And I don't know. I mean, I've said this since this whole pandemic started. I I don't know if I've gained this, but I've I have a different perspective on sports now than I had when I started this podcast. I'll put it like that. My perspective on sports has shifted immensely since my podcast has started. So I know this because I'm talking different. The subjects are different, and I mean, the pandemic shows you a lot about yourself. I mean, and it shows you a lot about other people. And we knew sports were about the bug, but I feel like the pandemic really just exposed it. And you see it in situations like these. So we'll see if the NCAA really protects people the way they're supposed to, because there's a way they can do this and keep the players protected, because the players can't really protect themselves the way they can in the NFL and in the NBA and Major League Baseball because they're not pros. I mean, they're not. They're kids. They're on scholarship. And for the most part, they have to do what they're told. I mean, they don't really have the same rights. I mean, they're not professionals. So they're basically at the whim of the adults in the room. So the adults have to, I don't know, be adults. So we'll see if they are. And hopefully they are, because they have parents that are counting on them to protect their kids. So we'll see what happens. You got a Cincy fan talking with LP. Be right back. Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to a Cincy fan talking with LP. And of course, this is LP. And I gotta tell you, TV1/Spectrum, they kind of pump faked me last week. I believe it's the week before last. Something like that. They pump faked me so bad. I'm all set to watch the Cosby Show. Flick through the channel guide. Found out they're showing one of my favorite episodes, the one where Vanessa, she goes with her friends to Baltimore to try to see the wretched. They get their car stolen. They decide to go anyway. They get busted. Cliff and Claire drag them back. Claire reason the riot act. Oh, it's hilarious. One of the best ones. One of the best ever. I'm all set to watch it. I tapped the wife on the shoulder, let her know because it's one of her favorite episodes. I broadcast it on Twitter. Let the Twitter homies know it's all coming on. They laugh, they giggle. It's all set. Come to find out that the channel guide is set a half an hour ahead, and it's not on. To make matters worse, the next show is one on one. And of course, one on one is right on time. So there's no Cosby Show coming on next. So it's the wrong Cosby Show episode followed by one on one. And it was the exact one on one episode that it said on the channel guide. There's no mistakes there. It's good old Flex getting into shenanigans. I'm like, I'm not staying for this. I don't want to see one on one. I don't want to see the UPN show up. This is what I want to see, and I can't see it. I was a little upset about that. I, I mean, I'm like, who do I complain to? I mean, I would complain to Spectrum, but they're like, we regret. No, you don't. You're not upset. Like, you don't feel like I feel. You're not as angry as me. Like, come on, you just want my money. Like, complain to TV One. They don't know what you're talking about. The pain. I tell you. But in the middle of me kind of thinking about this, I started thinking to myself, and I'm like, why is TV One the only people showing the Cosby Show? And I know the answer to this. Like, I know it immediately. I mean, it's because of Bill. I mean, Bill did ridiculous, crazy stuff, and he is where he's supposed to be when you do crazy, ridiculous stuff. I mean, you really can't hold back on that. When it's proven that you do stuff like that, you get locked up, as it should be. I mean, I don't know if I'm offending people by saying that, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You do stuff like what Bill did, you get locked up. That's how it should be. If you don't want to get locked up, you don't do that. Like, that's not how you're supposed to live. That's not what you do. I'm sorry. I I don't know any other way to put that. Um, I mean, that's what else do you say? You don't do that. But to be honest, for for me to cancel the Cosby Show, and I know there are like a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I'm never watching the Cosby Show again," and I kind of get that. Like I really do get that. But I found myself watching the Cosby Show when it comes on a lot, not just for that episode. And I normally cringe when I see Bill pop up. I honestly I do because I'm always thinking to myself, what what is Bill thinking now? What is he doing now? Like I mean, I can't help it. But you have Claire, you have Theo, and you have Sandra, and you have Denise, and you have Rudy, and you have all the other characters, those side characters that made it great. And I'm watching and I'm like, this show was special. It was spectacular. And it's really hard to cancel a show like this when you know what it meant for all of the other people in the show. And I think that's why I watch it when it comes on. Because to cancel Bill in the Cosby Show, make it clear. To cancel Bill in the Cosby Show is to cancel Claire in the Cosby Show and to cancel Theo in the Cosby Show. And that's tough for me to do. Now, outside of the Cosby Show, it's pretty simple. Bill's canceled. easily. I mean, it's not hard. But when the Cosby Show theme song comes on, it's kind of like a transport to childhood, and you're watching that show and you're just remembering that show. And I don't really think there's too much wrong with that when you're seeing like your favorite episodes and stuff like that. Now, if you take it too far and you go like, well, Bill's a good guy. Well, stop. That's a bit too far. So, I mean, it's really about keeping it compartmentalized and understanding what you're watching and how you felt at the time that you watched it. I think if you can do that, then I think you're good. And I don't think that that's hard to do because of the show that it was. And I don't really think that that's hard to do. I mean, the show was special for its time period. Like, and it's, it was just a great show. I mean, it changed things for a lot of people. So I don't really think that I don't really think that it's a show that you can watch and go like, "Oh my god, why are you watching that?" Because I mean, it's the Cosby Show. Now, it'd be a little different if you were watching the show where Bill was kind of sort of doing the stuff that he was not really accused of, that he went to jail for. You were watching that and you were like, "Oh well, Bill's okay." That's a little different because that's kind of towing a different line. So I mean, that's kind of my stance on it. I mean, I'm kind of a Cosby Show watcher. It always depends on the episode because even with the Cosby Show, there's certain episodes where Bill says certain things, and I got to turn the channel. I just do. I mean, there's a Bill will make a certain remark, and I'm like, yeah, can't stay here. It's a bit much. So, I mean, even as great of a show as it was, I mean, Bill still kind of messed it up. I mean, he really did, and I mean, that's kind of his legacy for the show. I mean, and people do have to understand that the stuff that you do, it messes up the stuff that you did. I mean, it does. And I really, I really don't think, I really think that people don't understand that. I don't think that people get it. Like the stuff that you do, it affects the stuff that you did. Like people are human and they're gonna look at what you did and they're gonna think, well, damn, were you doing that in the past? Like, did you feel like that back then? I mean, it's just human nature. So, of course, it's just gonna affect your legacy. Like, so people canceled the Cosby Show, and you can't really be mad at that. Like, you can't just be like, "Oh, how could you do that? This show was absolutely great, and it changed the face of the." No, you messed up. Like you messed up royally. So people are kind of taking receipts, and they're looking back at you, and they're going like, "Well, what about this? And what about that? And what about that?" And you opened the door for that. Like you did that. Nobody else did that. You did. So you can't really blame the general public for feeling the way they feel because you did the stuff that you did. So, I mean, that's that's kind of life. That's how it goes. So, you really got to watch what you do. Like, I mean, you do, especially if you're in the public eye because your steps and your missteps, they're they're going to shape the way people look at your work. And you may think that's not fair, but I mean, it kind of is. I mean, if you pour your life into your work and then you do crazy stuff, people are well within their rights to go like, what were you doing when you did this work? Was this part of your work or part of your life? Or was it both? I mean, people are gonna think that. Why wouldn't they? I mean, Sometimes people can separate the two. Sometimes people can't. I mean, what we're gonna ask. So just saying. I don't know. Before I get out of here, gotta mention this. I think I've hit the stretch where I'm on 2K burnout mode. Yep, because it is February, getting to March, and this is about that time where I just kind of started looking at my 2K game and going like, yeah, I'm about done with this. I'm about through with this. Um, do people normally feel like that with their yearly titles? I, I tend to think that they do, especially with a franchise like 2K or probably Madden or something like that, because you tend to get it yearly and you get hyped about it, come August or whenever your game comes out. You get hyped about it, you play it daily, whatever. And then there comes a time where it's like, what's the point? Like, you're playing it, everything feels the same. You playing people, yada yada yada, and you just start getting that burnout. I mean, the game just feels the same year after year after year. And I know people that they kept 2K17 and didn't buy another 2K until this year. They just kept 2K17. Or maybe it was 2K18, one or the other. But they just kept that game. Didn't buy another one. Like whatever. And I feel like I'm close to that. It's You just get to that stage where it's like 2K is doing the exact same thing every year and they're just getting the money every single year. I mean, I don't think I've made in-game purchases since 2K19. I don't think. I think I made one in-game purchase this year, as a matter of fact. Just the one. Because people complain about the game, but they just keep making in-game purchases over and over and over, but they complain about the game. And you got to be smart. Like you got to remember, 2K is going to keep putting out the same product because people keep buying it and people keep making in-game purchases. So if you're going to complain about it, the only way you can complain about it is by either not buying the product or buy the product and not make in-game purchases, which is where they make their money. But you can't just complain about it and just spend, 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 spend because they're not listening to you if you're buying it. Like, so I think I'm at that point with 2K where I'm like, I think I'm about done with it for this year. And which is crazy because it's just February. You got March, you got April, you got May, you got June, you got July, you got August, and then you got the game coming back out in September. That's like 7 months. And I'm about done with 2K. So unless I get the PS5, I don't know. It's gonna be a mean little stretch where I'm just not playing 2K. I don't know. Unless I find some more people to play, I'm good on 2K. It's just repetitive. You just do the same thing over and over and over. There's really no spice to it. There's not much. I'm really dating myself here. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it anyway. You fire up the Sega Genesis or the Super Nintendo. You fire up these games, and it felt like the game it it moved well, and you could just pick it up and play it. You're to the point now where you can't really pick these games up and play them. Like there's too much going on. Like I I feel really bad for people that try to pick up 2K21 and think that they can just dribble and shoot. It's not gonna happen for you. Like there's just so much that goes into it. Like you got to do so much to even understand how to like shoot the ball. Like it's it's not like it used to be, and it's crazy. Like I don't know if that's evolution or if it's overcomplication. Like I really can't put my finger on what it is. Like are video games getting are they getting overcomplicated or are they becoming more lifelike? When I play the game, sometimes I really can't tell which one it is because sometimes I'm like, man, this is great. This is way better than what it used to be. And then sometimes I'm like, man, this is too much. If I try to show somebody how to play this game, and they would look at me like I'm absolutely crazy. They would have no idea what to do. Like, I don't know. And I feel like they need to find ways to make games playable again. And I know a lot of YouTubers are like, they need to make the games harder, like a skill gap. But if you do that, nobody's buying your game except YouTubers. Like you have a whole lot of YouTubers buying your game, and then that's it. But you need to find ways to get like casual people to buy a game because right now I just see a whole lot of people trying to figure out how to shoot. like real talk. I was trying to show somebody just how to shoot the ball. It took me 25 minutes to show them how to shoot. How to shoot. You gotta line it up. You gotta get it to line up on the little part right here. But if you don't let go fast, it was ridiculous. Like I remember playing live 98. Like you just pick up the button, you hit the square, hold it, and let it go. Like now it's like you gotta have a whole algorithm to shoot the ball. Like you gotta be a gamer to figure it out. Like you really do. So I don't know. Like, but as far as being 2K, I think I give it. I think I see what happens with season 4. Like we'll be on like the return now. I think I see what happens with this next season. And if it's like exactly the same, you gotta do the same stuff. Like on my team, like I'm good. I'm just gonna let it go. So we're gonna see how it go. Um, and on that note, we're gonna go ahead and ride out. You know where we at? Every Tuesday, right here. Go ahead and holler at me. But until then, life is good. Peace out. If you're not ready for the conversation to end, I'm not either. Make sure to catch me on Twitter. That's the Cincy Fan Talking. Leave off the G at the end of it, and we can keep the conversation going. Also, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button so you can catch the next episodes. The episodes will drop every Tuesday. If there's a change in that, I'll make sure to let you know. Appreciate the support. As always, life is good.